All right, we're back. Um, we are having a little bit of connection
Mm.
issues, unfortunately. Stream stuttering a little bit. I'm going to be recording the remainder of the stream, and then I can upload it later. It's not too bad for the people that want to stick it out and watch live.
Mm.
So anyone that does, thank you. But we have our round two pairings. I think Ben is going to try to get us heroes,
Yes, we'll get
so
the
we can
meta
see
start.
what the breakdown is. It looks like there's a lot of Verdants and a lot of Syndra.
Yeah, well, like
I
we
think,
expected.
yeah, that's like a third of the room, I think.
Mm.
But for our round two, we have another Verdance
Yep,
playing into a Kasai.
Kasai,
Yeah.
yes.
Both second cycle members,
Yes,
so
both
that'll be fun.
mhm,
Both people that we know.
mhm.
Let's go ahead and jump over to the table and
Both very good players too.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Top 8 Ballards, top 8 Collins between the both of them. So it
Yep.
should be a very competitive game here.
Yeah, so let's see where they are at. We'll make some updates really quick to our names.
Yeah. So we talked about a bunch about Verdant's last game because we had Sejon. Let's talk about a little bit of a Kasai here. She got one of the craziest red cards that a warrior could ever get. Create an ally.
Yeah,
On it.
yeah, that's fantastic. At reaction speed, right?
Yeah, reaction
So like
speed.
it's not even face up.
It's a yellow, and it's very power. It's just so powerful to be like, oh, so like people have to play into this deck a little bit different than they used to. So you just get a lot more free damage than you would actually want. You have another on hit that's just mysterious, which the deck really, really needed. And we're going to see that probably from Bryce's end. We'll probably see an ally or two created. I'm actually not too familiar with this matchup. I think it's supposed to be Kasai favored.
Really?
Yes, I believe so. Kasai's can tend to just aggro down the Verdants and just put on enough pressure to where
Okay.
Verdants can't actually match them. So I
So
would expect AB0 from Bryce.
that is fascinating.
Mm.
So that is actually something I wanted to ask you about. So I know that there have been two builds of Kasai.
Yep,
There's like the very defensive version,
yep,
and then there's the like more aggro draw swords
yep.
version. What is Bryce on? Do you know?
So Kasai's lists, just in general, have been edging more so playing both sides of the spectrum. So these lists have actually been merging. So you're usually seeing like 90 rec sides, but with the draw swords package being sided in and out.
Okay.
Bryce has, from what his deck list has, because I've play tested with him a lot, he has been playing way more aggressive than those lists have been. So he's like on the draw swords. He's just looking for, I'm going to pump out damage. I want to create my allies. I'm going to make sure I get on hits while blocking here or there because the deck is warrior. And you have dynamos. Every card in the deck blocks 3 at least. So you're playing this like weird value game that slants kind of closer to what Fang slants to after he turns on, where it's like I'm going to throw just a bunch of damage while blocking and be more consistent than what Fang. The goal is to be more consistent than what Fang can present. That's
Okay.
usually what Kasai is trying to do nowadays. So, because you get that question a lot from Kasai players and Fang players, it's like, why play one deck over the other? Well, Fang is better post 3 fealty. It's pretty easy to tell that blocking 2 cards, throwing a 2 card 11 to 14, very strong. Very, very strong. Wow. Kasai, on the other hand, drawing a card every turn off of gold or creating gold. Gold's a very powerful resource to come to learn through Gravy, through Taylor Crawford's Marlin list recently. You're seeing a lot of these like advantages through gold. And we've actually saw a lot of Kasai's win last week for ProQuest season. And I think it is because she's relatively good into the meta. I think she's slightly favored in the Verdants. She's super favored into Syndra. KO can be a little tough because you just kind of get outvalued there nowadays. So that's usually where you get your losses from. And then usually the tier 2 decks in the meta, like you're like slightly favored in Acilio, but like the matchup spread is pretty almost even. And that's like the advantage of playing Kasai right now over Fang, where Fang, you're kind of rolling the dice. Wizards, you're not very happy seeing, even though the Verdance matchup is pretty. I think once you have 2 high level players, actually kind of a masterpiece matchup that Flesh and Blood has somehow designed to the game. But more likely, you're kind of rolling the gem roulette with Fang. So that's why you just have to pick one of the heroes because they play very similarly.
Yeah, that is interesting to hear because I haven't really seen a lot of Kasai. I know that she has been like nichely popular.
Yeah.
I would have expected a bad wizard matchup
Yeah.
from she kind of traditionally feels like a slower warrior. So it's interesting to hear that they're leaning more aggro and just rushing down the wizards.
Yeah, they can do that now. I mean, having reaction speed go again at yellow is great. You're going to start seeing more attack actions in these Psy lists, whether that be nourishing or CNC, because of like red hidden run starting to make the back in the deck. The go again off of blood favor, the new blood card that creates an ally. You're seeing a lot of ways to give go again to the second dagger that just wasn't there before for free. So you just have a lot of resources floating, and you can convert that into a CNC, into a nourishing, into like really any 2 for 6. You're not playing a lot of them. You're probably playing 3 of them. You just have to pick which one you want to do.
Do we have a choice on weapons, or are they generally playing the same thing?
It's usually just Centauri sabers.
Okay.
That's
Are
usually
we
all it
off
is.
hot streak?
We're off a hot
Okay.
streak. It's just not worth it. Like is sabers is just too much value. One card, 1 for 3 resources is really good, and you kind of just take that from there. So hot streak's just not really worth it anymore. At least a lot of Kasai lists aren't playing that.
Well, we were just handed our hero breakdown, um, and it's a little bit different than what I thought we would have seen. I swore we had like 7 or 8 verdants in the room.
But yeah, well,
There's only 5,
so now
uh,
we're getting 2 of them right away
which
here
is
on stream.
definitely on the upper end. But there is one hero that is kind of just like far and away the most represented here.
Mhm. That's Syndra.
Syndra.
Which
9 Syndras in the room.
I'm not sure if you were walking around the room earlier, but I was talking to a lot of people just to get a feel of what the ProQuest meta is like. A lot of Syndras lost round 1. A lot of them did. Sounds like,
Really?
yes.
Okay.
So we'll see how that keeps progressing as the day. Maybe there's a few 1-0s that get locked there, but hey, it is an interesting meta spread. It's actually a very wide meta. If you ignore Syndra and Verdance, the third best deck is KO, which not best, but third represented deck is KO. All right, so it looks like the game started. We missed it a little bit here, but it looks like Bryce went first and just Arsenal passed. Okay, so we have the Arsenal pass here, and we're gonna have a CNC for 6 getting thrown at Bryce. We're gonna look at see if he decides to block this. See how important that Arsenal card was. We also see, as I said earlier, that I thought Bryce may be on AB0, but he's actually presenting no rune glove in this matchup. I'm not sure if that's something that he's changed over time. Maybe he's talked to some other Kasai players, but he decided that maybe AB1 is just a nice little safety outlet late game to prevent lethal range from 9 to 8. Or to 7, I guess, because you have 2.
Oh, Unsheath is such a fun card.
Great card. So here we go. Unsheath, Skirmish, and pitching a blue. So probably looking to have a vigor floating here.
Yeah,
And
this is great. We're presenting 8 go again. We get to follow up with the second saber.
coming in for 2, and then it's gonna both the daggers will have the daggers. Playing too much fang. Both swords will have the on hit of copper, which is what Kasai wants because of the crazy card for old school Kasai fans, Blood in Her Hands, which is
Love that card.
card's so well designed. Definitely one of those Everfest Majestics that are just like, why did we create this?
Yeah, when Kasai was first printed and it was very clear that they wanted like gold to be the main thing, I was kind of like bummed out. I thought they were leaving Blood on Her Hands behind.
Mhm.
But I'm glad to see that they've still incorporated it into the list because that card is just so strong.
Yes. Looks like David's going to block 7 here, shelter from Arsenal. So we're going to go to 39, and Bryce will start collecting his money.
And it looks like he has activated
And
grains.
grains. And then we'll just be swinging the sword for 2 here and getting some value. But yeah, Kasai's an interesting deck. And again, we live in an area that's actually kind of we're very close to at least Madison area, which is where I'm closer to. We get a lot of Minnesota people come here for college or coming down when they're playing Flesh and Blood. They are known for Kasai. This is like the deck that you know for. So we see it a lot more in this area than usually
I feel
anywhere
like
else.
you guys lately have also just kind of been like very warrior focused. Because
Yes,
like I feel like you have a decent amount of Fang players too over there.
I'm the only one.
Are you the only
I'm
one?
the only one in Madison right now.
Oh,
Yes, I am the only one. There's a few in Chicago, but otherwise I'm the only Fang in. I think we have Chris Morris, who's a
yeah.
Milwaukee local, but like yeah, otherwise Madison. So we're gonna block with the bow here, get a yellow engrave. We're gonna take 2. And
Is the stream more stable now? I think we are still dropping some frames. I don't know if it's quite as many as we were. But I guess you guys let us know in the chat. Hopefully it's better.
oh,
There is a new stream link, so hopefully people found that. All right, let's see. So I think we're on Bryce's turn.
Yeah, we're on Bryce's turn. Just going to swing the saber for 2. Nice cold foil sabers coming off the vigor. Being able to keep that 3-card hand is huge. Um, Seems like we're just going to play a run
Ooh, that's
through.
a nice EA Raisin
They're
army.
gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous, gorgeous. So 2 go again. I imagine David probably just stuck a direct in Arsenal. You're going to see players, as I said earlier, they're changing their play style. There's vanilla damage. Doesn't matter in Kasai. It's basically true damage. You just take it. You really need to prevent the copper generation. You really need to prevent those cell swords from just randomly spawning onto the field. And so having D-React just at the ready to prevent it makes the matchup so much more important. So Centauri Saber reads, if you are not aware, attack actions buff the sword by +1 for the turn. So this is going to be coming in for 5, and we're going to sink. And having a little tea with that sink below.
That was a pretty big overblock.
Yeah.
It feels a little bad.
Sometimes Kasai just doesn't present enough damage to get your value, so you just kind of take it. And I mean, we're throwing 4 and 1, getting an Earth and Grave, and they're gonna come in for 2 at Moon still too. So it's still a 2-card 7. Oh no, not 2. I have 2-card 6, and Arcane, and it's basically true damage when you're playing 81.
Yep. Do you think that we will not see AB until it's needed? Do you
Yes.
think that he's just going to take whatever is sent at him?
I think unless the hand just doesn't convert, because sometimes you just do miss go again in the deck. Warrior problems. Um, Then you get Arcane, maybe you'll pitch towards it, but for the time being, not really. And here we go. Spoils of War, the classic Crucible card that every warrior that needs go again plays.
Yeah, on a 5 card hand, I mean, this could be a lot of copper
Yeah,
generated this turn.
we could be seeing Blade Third Flurry Song. We could see just random generation of an ally here. We could be seeing just a lot of top end damage. So the interesting about Kasai compared to like any other of like the actual weapon focused warriors, not including Bolton here, because he's really not that. All the damage is front facing unless you talk about Blade Flurry. So this attack is at most 6 or 8 if you have double Blade Flurry, but it's only 4 right now on hit 2 copper. So you're probably going to be seeing the second dagger either get buffed with it in the swing or more and try to get chopper generation that way, like run through, Blade Runner, things like that.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it because even though those are reactions, they buff the next sword.
Hmm.
So you still know what that sword should be at. And then, yeah, it's just a lot of like head jab buffs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not too much that can take you by surprise here.
It looks like David might be calling out the Blade Flurry, and we're going to glint this to filter the hand a little bit. So here we go, draw a card, give it go gun, and now we're taking 1. Ooh, unfortunate for David here. You really don't want to be taking 1 in this scenario because you're now giving up 2 copper. And
That's half of a blood on our hands.
we're right there. And it's a full blood on your hands if you have sharpened senses.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you're already turned on for that turn. You have the gold from the headpiece. So any blood on our hands turn here, as long as you have a serpent sentence, is very strong. So here's the red hit and run. This card's seen a lot more appearance back in Kasai, like I said.
I think it's yellow.
Oh, is it yellow? Oh,
Yeah.
yellow. Okay, yellow hit and run. Again, these cards are seeing more presence in Kasai again because of the fact that the go again just matters more on the second swing. So might be seeing it in the swing here, otherwise the hand's just not going to fully convert reverse, which is okay. Oh, Iron Song. Okay, basically in the swing. And there's a D-Rack that was probably being held onto. Bryce flashed the Blade Flurry, so maybe was just okay with dealing the one earlier and now debating if the 2 copper is worth it and decided no. We have the vigor.
Yeah, I don't know if I like playing Blade Flurry on one sword.
It just depends on how important that on hit matters. Sometimes you
Yeah.
do it in Fang just because you're like, I really need this mark to hit. And so it's like, not here or there. And here we go. Felling of the Crown.
Good clapback.
Yeah. Never bad. Never bad to rip a card. Is it baby felling though? Maybe not. No, it's not. All right. We're at 5.
Yeah, we saw a root bound earlier.
All right. So we'll be taking a card here from Bryce. And this is when, if you're Bryce, maybe you're just looking to block a few cards, threaten the sword.
Definitely putting Dynamo in front.
Probably,
Get your free value.
sometimes it's not. Miss go again. But like,
Fair, yeah.
you're probably putting at least grains in front of this because it's 2 value. And you just never know how much arcane they're going to throw compared to physical.
Right. We talked about that last game where like you kind of just get your armor block where you can.
Mhm.
There's usually not a crazy amount of on hits presented by the verdants.
Blocking 3 here, taking
And I think
5.
we're just okay with taking 5, yeah.
So this is a trap I think a lot of players fall into when playing against Verdants though, is that when this physical damage is thrown, I think people have a mindset of just I need to keep my whole hand. I need to convert because I have D-reacts and I need to make sure I stay ahead. But you also can stay ahead just from blocking. it's 8 physical damage. Maybe you're definitely taking true damage later playing AV1. Maybe it's sometimes just worth taking, like giving your hand, swinging a sword, or taking an off turn just to prevent it. But here we go. Sharpen senses. Do we have the bow to follow it? Otherwise, nope. It looks like we're just going to be coming in for 3 on hit gold because we did activate Kasai this turn. And not go again yet.
And we will need to get this sword to 5
Yes.
to get go again, right?
We know the Blade Flurry is an arsenal,
Yep.
so we know this does have go again right now, but David does not. Fun little interaction with this card is that there's one card in the game that does reduce attack. Do you know what card I'm talking about?
Is it the Stonewall Gauntlets?
Someone does so, that affects it, but I'm talking about reaction. Do you react?
Oh, is it a Fearless Confrontation?
It's not. It's Saving Grace.
Oh, yeah, the
Saving Grace.
Bolton card,
Yeah,
right?
so Saving Grace. This is like the one advantage you get in this matchup. It's a miserable matchup for Bolton. But if they play Sharpen Senses and then they look at you and say 5, you say, okay, I'll just react. You lose your go again.
That's hilarious.
It's actually really, really fun interaction. It frustrates a lot of people, but again, super favorite for Kasai, so it doesn't really matter too much.
Fearless Confrontation will only target attack action cards,
Yes,
right?
correct.
Okay. So Saving Grace is targeting attacks.
Mhm.
Okay.
So here's the gauntlets. Actually, good read by Blade Flurry and double Blade Flurry. We're not missing the go again. And they're both players are laughing because they probably talked about the go again here.
Yeah, no, that
from the
was
sword.
I would say that was a good read by David.
Mhm.
The luck of having the second Blade Flurry,
Yeah.
kind of insane.
It's kind of insane. So hey, we're gonna create a vigor here with that blue in hand, and now we're going to swing the sword because we haven't drawn. We're gonna close the chain. Probably. Oh, we don't have bracers, so just swing in for another 7 damage because sharpen senses is +1.
How often do you think Kasai is looking to use her hero text of discounting the swords?
I think pretty often.
Yeah.
The deck plays riches now. You're seeing a lot more goal generation. So I think it just depends on how aggressive the matchup needs to be, or if you really need to focus on Raise Army. So I think once the matchup gets going here, Yuriski's life total is even, but as soon as Bryce starts turning on the gas of pitching into gold every turn, saying, I have enough yellows and reds in grave, I'm going to keep trying to regenerate the gold because you just have better reds and yellows now than you did a year and a half ago when heavy hitters released.
So maybe not as important in like the first few turns, but once you get your board kind of established a little more, you start rolling that.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly how I would describe it. So David's blocking 3 here. Gonna be taking 4.
Man, this coming in for 7 is
So
disgusting.
It is gross. Again, the deck does just pull out consistent damage. We're gonna have 2 vigors floating. Which again, that's really good. Unless we get scoured here randomly for 2, which probably not the greatest decision by David to hold on to that. You probably just block out. David does this all the time. He's a big Florian player. And he likes counting desserts constantly just to make people aware. And there's the second felling. And as I've said before, this is a chance that, again, a lot of players, I think, make the mistake of being like, okay, I'm set up, I need to get going. But we have a 4-card hand, we're losing a card. Maybe we have 2 vigors floating. Maybe we just block 6, swing the sword, hopefully do 2. And then continue from there. So maybe that's what Bryce is thinking about, is if he needs to block 8, which
Yeah, he might not have the go again.
Yep.
Maybe this is an off turn.
But I think taking 7 years might be incorrect if you're not throwing, but he's saying we're just gonna go for it.
All right.
Yeah, all right. Let's see what this hand is. It's a 3-card hand. David didn't have an arsenal, which is why I also argue that maybe blocking out is worth it, because then you still have a 5-card hand. David only gets to play a 4-card hand. Verdance doesn't really convert. And looking at David's hand, the hand didn't convert at all. So it's like
we do get a virtual 4-card hand from Bryce with the 2 vigors.
2 vigors, and you actually can use the gold to draw.
Right.
And okay, this is why we're not blocking here. We have 0-4, 0-4, and then go again. I feel like you're supposed to break gold there and say, I'm going to get an arsenal.
Yeah.
And because it pays 3 or 2, you stay with 1, you Kaside already, it refreshes your gold, and the second dagger is going to be huge. So we're blocking with Barkskin, going to go up to 5.
Do you think that he's saving the gold for the Raisin Army?
He must be. Again, I'm not too familiar with how the matchup has to be played, but Verdants can't clear those allies all too easily. So
No, there would have to be a lot of pings because they're 2 health each.
yeah. And we're taking 2 here, and we're going to create a gold. So we get the 3rd gold.
I think I would have broken the gold there.
Oh, maybe we didn't hit. Maybe was it for 8 off of 2 non-attack actions? No, we blocked with. I could be wrong. Maybe it looks like they blocked out in and take 2. So now we got a 4-card hand. We didn't see what on top of is like. Maybe he's just familiar that drawing blind sometimes just not worth it in the deck. So we shall see what he decides to send off here. David just Arsenal pass. And Bryce is in the tank. Down 8 life, but with the 4-card grip and all the momentum right now.
I was thinking.
He's doing some math. Remember, give us some time to players. They did just Arsenal pass back. Bryce drew up the hand. Needs to figure out how to get the most value out of it and convert it. He's probably deciding if he breaks a gold or not. There's a lot of decisions here. Maybe he whiffed on go again, making a decision. Looking like he's reaching for the graveyard. Is he going to Kasai this turn? And we are. We're going to Kasai. He's confident that he thinks he's going to hit.
All right, let's see what follows this.
Sharpen Senses. So we're pitching the Sharpen Senses. He must be really trying to play for Raise an Army. This is what this is telling me.
So what could this be? Glint, maybe?
Maybe a Glint, but I feel like you're pitching the Glint, unless the Sharpen Senses just didn't convert there.
This could also be Blade Runner or Run Through. But we only have 1 resource, so maybe not that. Because then the second sword swing is not free yet.
So we're crowning here. I think David is realizing right now that um, Bryce isn't really going to threaten too much here unless on this dagger, unless he gave a card from hand. There's the
It
run
is the
through.
run through. We must not have had the blue.
Yeah, he didn't. Unfortunate. I think he was thinking about pitching into draw swords here. That's the one downside for it.
I'm surprised we activated Kasai on this turn. Like, it's not doing much.
Maybe he realized that he just needs to force out all the blocks he can, and that's why he activated. Maybe he's like, I can draw pressure, but I feel like as a Verdance, you're doing that either way. Like your 4-card hands don't convert. Your 4-card hands really don't convert a lot. And then David's just saying no blocks. There's the D-react and get decompose. Yeah, interesting. I feel like I think we were supposed to break the gold the last turn on the Kasaya's end, get the arsenal, because especially if you knew Europe in the hand.
Yeah.
And now you get a 5-card hand to work with, and maybe you draw maybe the blues on top of the deck. Who knows? Maybe you were able to play draw swords into Sharpen Senses. And in the swing here, and we're going to get the hit. Unless we have another D-react, which David's saying no blocks.
No, at least we get the gold.
But now this is starting to get really scary for Bryce. He's only playing AB1. He has 3 gold and 3 copper. But
I think I saw another Valiant hand.
David kept a 4-card hand. David's crown's going to go away. Good news is David's run out of equipment, so a few burst turns here from Bryce should really help. Oh, we're playing Tree.
Is great here.
So with the AB1, now this accelerates the clock a lot. And again, this is why I'm saying I think there's this huge trap for not blocking felling. I think you just have to give up your hand sometimes because Bryce took so much damage on those felling turns, and now
yeah, he took 7 off the last one.
Yeah,
that's a lot of life to lose in this matchup.
So we'll see here. It's coming in for 5.
Looks like he's maybe thinking about
pitching, which is not great spot to be in. It's not where you need to be if you're Bryce. It's pretty bad.
I thought I saw a felling in David's hand.
There's a chance it's just getting slammed into
If he's putting it in Arsenal, I mean that would be pretty strong. Maybe a bit of a waste of the amp if he doesn't draw into a spell.
Well, any non-attack action here is like I think David's turned on at this point because we have the flip.
He is turned on.
So like any spell here or any life gain is
if we can go Everbloom into felling.
Everbloom into felling, discarding fruits and like getting your apples 8 in the felling. We're going to trigger, put the fruits on the bottom first. And then because we have to reveal the earth card. Didn't matter in the scenario because there are 2 earth cards. So
yep,
you can just be like, here's the dice. I have 2 earth cards. Makes no difference.
Oh,
And
I is a fun inclusion. I like
mhm,
that.
yep, they're on I. They're on a lot of Fables
Is
right
that
now.
new?
No, it's been a very common thing is in this Draw Swords Kasai
Okay.
deck. And we're bottoming both. He did not like it. We're going to go for the blind draw. He nodded his head there, so maybe it's something to convert the hand. We do have 2 gold here. That's why we pitched into it. And I think we're just going to activate Kasai again and just be
Yep.
like, hey.
And we have free swords now.
mm. So we have an outland skirmish. We have 1 floating. So I'm guessing that 1 floating is going to be used for like the go again here. And maybe we're going to ship an arsenal. There's no cards in that graveyard for Braze. This is the last possible Kasai activation unless we play, I think, 2 more yellows. Um, which maybe we have Blood Follows Blade here to create that ally, which would be huge. And there it is. and that now this 1 resource converts into 3 more damage and an ally.
That's great.
Isn't that crazy? Unless we can block 5 here on David's end.
No, he would need. Does he have the shelter, maybe?
It doesn't have the shelter. He's sinking for another Dirac. Let's see if he finds it. And the sigh on David's face means he's going to be taking 1.
Oh,
Oh, and we get a copper?
yeah, we get a copper
Copper?
off the outland skirmish.
And we're going to see none of these EA cell swords
He might have.
because
I think he did. He miss the copper?
um
He hasn't ticked it up yet.
hasn't ticked it up yet. Maybe he just missed it. I think he's looking at the board here.
Oh,
Yep,
there
there
we
it
go.
is.
We need that.
We do need that. And that's the most important piece of this deck right now. And we'll go off the 3 gold, close the chain here. We're closing the chain.
So swing with the sellsword.
I think we're doing something else here for closing chain. We don't need to close chain for the cell sword. So we're going to go hit and run into 5 go again.
I know it's minor. The sellswords have go again, right?
Yeah, correct.
I think I would swing the sellsword
Not
first
give the
to
information.
not give the information.
Mm,
Again, minor, but
mm.
maybe it changes blocks on David's end.
And maybe it's just the knowledge of like, hey, I think the cell sword's always 3 free damage. You're never really blocking it. Um,
There's no world where David could clear it in response because the pings only come on David's turn.
mhm.
So I think it's pretty safe.
We blocked it out there, blocking for 5, coming in for 3. And this is where the matchup kind of gets starting to get a little scary for David, but trees on board. If we just have a gain 3 life spell, we do just kill the cell sword. Tree triggers, amp 1, fruits,
Yep. I think we're going to see fruits into felling.
and there's the feat, the classic feats.
Do you think, does he point this at Bryce or at the sellsword?
I feel like at this point, 15 life, I think you can just go for Bryce's life. It's 3 free damage. And looking at Vanish, he's thinking, I'm not sure exactly what he's thinking of here, but it's 4. Trey being an inclusion in Verdant's list lately is interesting because I think it's like 50-50 card for a lot of Verdances. Either you love it or you hate it.
I like the card. It's not currently in my list.
Mm.
But I am considering putting it back in because I do think it helps with certain like grindier matchups,
Yeah,
like being able to close out the late game. Um,
I think it's really useful in the deck set. I think a lot of decks right now are just not presenting a lot of AP into you, and like this matchup presents, for example, is that like, hey, throw a big arcane, you're doing good, maybe high rolling on turn 0, and you're pretty happy with that decision. And it looks like it went Bryce's way, and here's the felling,
yeah. Oh,
which
gross.
Bryce nods and shakes his head, and again. David's laughing because he's like, "Yeah, that's 3 fellings this game, but I mean, this is like turn 9. You're going to see them. It's not like you're not going to. This is coming in for 8.
I think we have to block this.
Oh, you don't have a choice. So you have to, I think you give up the grains and the dynamo and block 6. We can't be, yeah. You can't go to 9. Well, you can't go to 7. And here's 6 block. Ooh, red draw swords, red's iron song. Tree goes away. I look at David's gonna get a 4-card hand here. Very ahead this game. But it looks like we have a burn bear, a light up the leaves.
Drawing a card.
Tilling. And I mean, this is going to be 2. Hopefully, he has the go again into 2, into 3, into 2, which is, I mean, I mean, that's a 1 card 8 there with like a 2 card 8 if you have to go again. Just thinking. So here we go. Let's see. And he has 2 gold, so he could have been shipping it to just try to cycle it. And there's the run through. Unfortunately, don't have enough to swing the sellsword unless we want to give the card in hand. And David's like, no blocks here. I think he drew another spell, and
I think that's a very easy decision for
yeah,
David. He
especially
has such a comfortable life lead.
especially if you drew 2 6s, you just throw 6 into 3. I mean into 2, and that's free 5 damage.
Yep.
Or free 6 damage. Excuse me, going to 5, and if you have another 6 attack, the game's over. The game is essentially over unless Bryce can threaten 23 here somehow.
Did,
Bryce is thinking.
did we see if he has 2 6s in hand?
I think he has both Burn Bear and Light Up the Leaves in
Ugh.
hand. But he has a red Tilling, so who knows? For all, so you can't really do the play of like pitching into Moon. But still, 6 damage is 6 damage. And Bryce says, let's not arsenal draw swords. Let's get 3 here.
Draw swords at this point of the game feels very slow. Like
It is.
you have to keep too many cards in hand to make that work.
You have to see them early, so your daggers are free. And it looks like David's reaching to block 3, and there's the Burn Bear. Okay, interesting. Maybe he can't convert it this turn.
I mean, it would also be fine to set an arsenal for the kill.
Yeah,
I'm surprised to see that blocking.
maybe it's tilling into there's a tilling in hand. I think there's a light up to leaves too. So I think if it's tilling into light up leaves, also just rips so much from hand that it's like not the end of the world. Pitching the tilling. Yeah, so we just didn't have, and it's
Oh,
4.
okay.
Okay.
So too many reds
Too many reds. Too many reds. Whoops, all reds.
and a colorless. Burn Bear has no pitch.
Yeah. Whoops, all reds. So basically, you're right. You really don't want to pitch that either way. Yeah.
Okay, this is fine too.
It's 4.
You're gonna leak at least 3, and then that will, if he ABs, he's gonna go down to 9. So he's not dead off of the instant speed. But if he taps out, uh,
Taps
oh
out.
yeah, go
It's
to the 8.
range because I think it light up leaves in the arsenal as long as you draw blues, which we did. All right, break gold.
But Bryce is dead here if he
Taps out. He has to tap out or doesn't have 2 resources left to float.
right. One would not be enough. One
No.
would kill him.
Mm-hmm. I just don't see how Bryce gets out of this one.
I don't think he does.
The AB1, and this is the argument for decks that are presenting AB1 and Verdance. How much help did that actually help you get there? Like you pitched into it 3 times for 1 value